Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Can we gather this way, please? In just a moment, I will take you into the red airlock.
Honestly, it's frustrating because I feel like just on the cusp of knowing more, and I really want to know more, and I know I can't quite yet. So I want to dive deeper.
Confused. Very confused, but in a good way.
The effects were like out of this world.
Man, I'm so excited. I've never done anything like this before. This kind of has me in my like kiddish, like just excited because it does feel very otherworldly because it is. It's something brand new. I think it's something that people haven't quite seen.
So the difference between working on a project like this and on a more traditional piece of theater is the experimental nature of it. Anything can happen in a piece like this. We have no control over the audience, what the reaction is, what the response will be. We just have to roll with whatever they give us and hope to take them on a roller coaster ride.
I wish I had asked more questions. I wish I knew like what more I could have found out beforehand.
You know, we've seen things that are magical, like Harry Potter. We've seen things like Star Trek. We've seen things that like kind of tap into the outer space kind of things, but this is very much so set here on Earth. It's very tangible, it's very real, and who knows, it might actually be real.
It was something. This is going to stick with me for a while.
What just happened?
Go to the IHK site, okay?
Excuse me.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Reflector is making its mark in the world of transmedia productions, trying to figure out how you can tell a story on different mediums where everything feeds into one big narrative. And the way they're doing that is by launching projects like the Unknown Line.
Reflector is built around this new reality. It's built for today's modern community of consumers of entertainment. They like to start with something, follow a thread, go into something else, be more participative. We're creating a community of people that are active, people that are seekers. We're creating a universe that grows organically with our input and also the input of the fans. The community is part of the people that are building this amazing world that is the Unknown Nine.
The Unknown Nine universe tries to explain the unexplained in our world. Mainly what gives people great ideas. Where do they come from and why? And how do we get these ideas? Is it just from ourselves or is there some other force out there? In the mythology of the U9 you can trace events in history when people sort of leaped from maybe just ordinary life to something extraordinary. They excelled suddenly or left what they were doing and started doing something completely different. So in a way it kind of explains all the great people in human history.
If you look at how the world was perceived at the end of the 19th century, we actually believed that we had reached the limit of knowledge. We believed that we had cracked the universe. The US Patent Office actually put out a press release saying we're closing most of our offices because we've discovered everything. There's nothing left to discover. And then these crazy scientists, came onto the world stage and, they asked, hey, wait a minute, what about, relativity? What about quantum physics? And all of a sudden, the world became magical again. We were again infinitely small and we had that sense of wonder back. Today, what fans want and what they're missing is that they want to find that magic back in the world.
Any good conspiracy can look at an event in history and explain it from their angle. And the Unknown Nine, it's kind of a conspiracy that eats all other conspiracies. At the heart of the Unknown Nine is the Leap Year Society. That was founded in 1888, which gathered thinkers from all over the world, men and women from all over the world, maybe members of other secret societies, to form this new one. And if you follow the storylines of the Unknown Nine universe, you'll see how the Leap Year Society has influenced events all over the globe.
The mythology of the Leap Year Society dates back to King Azuka, which was an Indian god back in the day.
Unknown 9 are 9 immortal figures that are kind of set to safeguard these books. And these books have the keys to humanity, if you will, all this knowledge that we as people don't have.
So they're there to help, to maintain mankind as it is, and help it and guide it on the best path they feel is possible. So the Institute of Higher Knowledge is looking to bring a greater number of young people into the Leap Year Society.
It's a base where people can come and learn everything that we in LYS are about. We are about bringing this knowledge to humanity and allowing them to use it to better themselves.
The initiation ritual to the Leap Year Society was done together with the McKittrick Hotel, who have Sleep No More, which is a very particular style of immersive theater. And I worked with immersive theater, and I've also done a lot of live action role play, which is completely different. In Sleep No More you have a mask, you're not allowed to talk, and there are actors who are sort of the key people of the story. In LARPing you are the key person, and you're supposed to talk, you're supposed to interact. So those are two kind of ends of the spectrum. A performance that you walk around in and you sort of have a perspective to, but you're not really part of. And then LARPing, where you are the show, so to speak.
I need to see what they do. You have to have somebody.
The Leap Year Society initiation was neither pure immersive theater or LARPing. It was something in between, something new, I think. What we tried to do was create a believable initiation ritual, and everything we did was part of that.
And people will arrive in a very unorderly fashion from different directions and walks of life.
Okay, so it's going to be pretty much like this. People around the walls, roughly this many. But in the middle here, there'll be that big black dodecahedron with a work light on it. So that's going to be the only sort of light in here.
We will have 3 intense hours. We will start with the blocking, and then we will work together.
I prepared effects, and Greg have told me that we can actually make them in direct sync every time it flickers. It plays one sound.
Basically what I did was design the Leap Year Society, a secret society from scratch. What are their rituals? How do their party look? What are their clothes and symbols? Wrap that in an experience that people could join. The first thing I did was just draw different sort of scenes or key elements that I thought would be interesting for the participants and tell the Unknown 9 story. And that then became the production design document of the project. What we wanted to do was create a real initiation event.
Other studios focus on a specific medium, so they're either a film studio or a television studio or a game studio, whereas Reflector is a storyworld studio. And the reason we call them storyworlds is because these are universes first and foremost, right? And a universe isn't something static, it's something that lives, it breathes, it expands. We don't focus on one single media, we focus on all of them because we tell our stories across a variety of media.
The Unknown 9 is a book series, a comic book, movies, television series, these live events and games. It's all feeding into one big narrative. As a storyteller, you want to create a story that is strong and clear and that the audience can take on board and feel. As a transmedia storyteller, you want the audience to have that same capability. You want them to be able to tell stories and dig into them not just as a consumer but as a true participant.
This is just one big organic web that we're spinning across time. The way that the fans contribute to this is the way that they're consuming the story, the way that they're putting things together, the theories that they're having is actually informing us in the way that we move forward. We are creating essentially something that you could consider to be story as a service. So injecting magic back into the world is really what we're looking for.
It's called transmedia because the story transcends media types. It's not just distributed over many channels. It changes as it goes from cell phone to computer games.
The very last question, the word curious kind of tilts sideways. You click on curious and then it takes you to, it says the second phase has been initiated. Others who didn't recognize that got rejected.
I think it's easy to imagine that media is just computers or television or a book, something that you put a story on. But the medium can also be the participant. And that's what I love doing, getting the participants to be the story in different ways. To launch The Unknown 9, we created an immersive event in New York, giving participants a chance to join the Leap Year Society. Some flew in from Europe, some came from Comic-Con. During an hour, they got to go through this journey, entering into the deep stories of the Unknown 9 world. Leap Year Society is looking for new members, people who can figure out how to make this world better. And our participants became the first chapter in New York of these new members. You are actually in a location, actually participating yourself physically. It's actual physical immersion into the story. You are the story. You become a member of the Leap Year Society, and what you do from that is the actual actions of the Leap Year Society. How would it be if a society created in 1888 would still exist and do these semi-occult scientific events today? It was really cool actually to have every component to play with.